Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Call of the Wild, the Angler. So up until now, it's been all kind of peaches and cream. I've been praising the game, and I actually love the game. I can't lie, um, but I feel like I can't just praise the game and not criticize it at all because there are definitely some things about the game that I feel like do need to be criticized. So I think that's what we're going to do in this video. We're going to talk about some of the things that I think they could do better. One of the things being the fishing mechanics. I would like to see them tweak the fishing mechanics a little bit. Um, I know it's never going to be. Is that a walleye swimming around right there? Are there really walleye in this lake? That's crazy. So I know it's never going to be like as in depth a game as Fishing Planet, but I feel like there's some things that they could do to improve the game overall, the fishing mechanics anyway. For one, we definitely need bottom rods, right? Because fishing for catfish and stuff like that with bobbers, it feels a little strange. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you can't fish for catfish with bobbers. You absolutely can. I feel like it's something that's not normally done. It's kind of like an option to fish for them. I feel like probably 90% of people that fish for catfish fish for them on the bottom. Um, Now, they could add bottom fishing to the game, but I think what we all want are like rod stands, right? Rod stands would be great because then you could put a couple poles out in the water. You could cast out maybe a bobber and a bottom line, and then you could cast, much like you do in Fishing Planet. And boy, I even want to say Fishing Sim World, you could do that as well, can't you? I'm pretty sure you can. Now, with this game right now, I don't think the fishing mechanics would really allow that to happen for the simple reason when you get a strike, it seems like you have a very limited amount of time to yank and hook the fish. So that's something they would have to change. But I do feel like that's very much in the realm of them being able to fix because if I remember correctly, in Fishing Planet, bottom fishing came after. Fishing Planet was pretty much like this in a way. You always had to hold your rod, and then they added that after. So I feel like if they can do it, then this game, the Angler EW, they should be able to implement something like that too. I know in my community, it's like immediately that's what people were saying. Like there needs to be bottom fishing. That's just something that really needs to be in the game. So you know what? We're gonna reel up here. We're gonna try to catch one of these walleye because then we can talk about something else. So we have a bait caster. Let's see here. What lure do we have that we can fish for them? We'll put on good old size 5 spoon, and we'll try it. So even when I'm reeling in, you can kind of tell you can't really do much. You can't move much. Rod movements are there, but I don't really know how much of use they are. We should be able to walk around, if not walk around, at the very least, be able to look around. That's something that I think, because right now all we can do is this, and this isn't helpful. I mean, I want to be able to look around, right? We should be able to do that. Like I said, I would love to be able to even walk while I'm reeling in a fish because if a fish is pulling out line and it's running upstream or up the lake or whatever, we should be able to walk with the fish. And why am I not catching anything? Like I see them. Are they just gonna hit lures tonight? Or bait rather? I mean, we could try that, but I don't want to get hung up on this too much. I don't want this video to be too long, so we'll do one more cast here. If we don't catch anything, then we'll move on to the next set of issues. So my next major issue with the game is your storage system here. So basically, you always have to come back to this, the main outpost, Diamond Peak outpost. Now the funny thing is, when you unlock the others, and you have four others, you have Ruby River, three others actually. Ruby River, you have the Emerald. If I can get on in here, Emerald Lake Plateau, and then all the way up here. I wish the cursor was faster. And then all the way up here, we have the Silver Strand Metals outpost. Now, when you unlock these, I clearly remember the warden saying that there's lockers for storage, but I can't find them. So anytime you need to change your storage, you need to come all the way back here. You need to talk to her, which I turned the dialogue off because she really annoys me to no end. And you have to come all the way down to storage. Now, to move things, you like if I wanted to move this rod, which this isn't going to happen, but if I wanted to move this rod to storage, I would have to go. I would have to dismantle it first out of here. I can't dismantle it from this screen. So I have to back all the way out of here, right? Then I have to go up in here, go into rods, go into here, dismantle it, then go back to her, go back to storage, and do it. It's so much. I mean, surely there's a way that they can clean that up and make that a little bit user friendly. And again, I really want to see some kind of lockers or something at every single one of the outposts so we don't have to fast travel back here every time. At least, I mean, everywhere you are in the map, there's pretty much an outpost kind of near there. And I mean, I know that people are going to say, well, it doesn't matter because you can just use the fast travel points, blah, blah, blah. But still, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, you have all these outposts. You can only buy bait at her shop. She's the only bait and tackle place on the whole map. She's the only spot that you can switch out storage and stuff like that. And it's really annoying. And it's the same way in the Norway map. There's only one spot. The main outpost is where you have to go to get your storage and buy bait. You can't buy bait or lures anywhere else on the map. And, I know it's just not me. I know that there's other people in my community that have mentioned it too, that it's annoying that you have to come all the way back here to change that stuff out. It just seems to me that there could be a better way. There could be a better way. Okay, so this is one that's also kind of a no-brainer. In the boat, there should definitely be fish finders and electric trolling motors. I mean, when you have a lake the size of this, it would just be so helpful to have a depth finder. I mean, even if it's not to find the fish, although that would be helpful too, especially when you want to fish deeper water, like out in the middle. Obviously, in real life, I'm a structure kind of guy. I like to fish structure. So, I'll find shoreline structure like standing timber, weed beds, docks, stuff like that. But when you need to go a little deeper into open water, it is super helpful to have a fish finder to kind of let you know where the fish are, and what depth you're at. So that's something that I would absolutely love to see in the game at some time. But let's talk about electric trolling motor, because in this game you can spook the fish. So like, say I want to fish that shoreline over there, right? What I would want to do in real life is get to about here, drop in the electric trolling motor, and then just silently troll in. Then you're not going to scare the fish. But in this game, I have to get back in the driver's seat, and I have to start up the boat, and I have to drive in there worrying that I'm going to spook the fish. It's just a strange thing not to have in the game. And also, like, the way you change positions, you have to double tap the square on PS5 and PS4. So if I double tap, okay, we change positions. If I double tap again, right, now we're in the back of the boat. Now if I double tap again, we should be over on that side. There, now we're over on this side. So, I mean, at least we can change our positions. It's a little misleading because if I just tap Oh wait, now it's working. So it wasn't working before. Okay, you don't have to double tap. If I just tap the square, I can. No. Now see, now I can't. Do I have to? No. So sometimes you got to double tap. I don't quite understand why. I know that I just double tap it, and every time I do, that helps for me. So we see that pike swimming around down there. Okay. Now that I've gotten the stuff out of the way that I think should be in the game, let's talk about things that me as a fisherman would like to see in the game that I don't think they'll implement, because I do understand, believe it or not, I do understand that they want the game accessible, and I get that. So when I say accessible, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, um, they want the game to be accessible to everybody. So if you're not a fisherman, if you've never actually casted the line in real life, they want you to be able to come in and play the game and enjoy the game as much as somebody with fishing experience. Pardon me. But with that being said, as someone that has a lot of fishing experience, there's certain things that I would personally like to see in fishing games that will probably make it less accessible. Um, the things that I love about Fishing Planet are probably the things that EW really wants to avoid with this game. I'm probably not going to catch anything, by the way, because I have a pretty big hook on, but we're just going to fish and we're going to chat. So, the things I like about Fishing Planet, I like the fishing mechanics. I like the way you retrieve the lures. In this game, it's not bad. It's not horrible. I don't hate it. I can live with it. It's not a big deal. But with Fishing Planet, the gear, there's so much more to the gear. It's so much more in depth. There's so much more gear. I mean, there's all kinds of different rigs. There's bottom rigs. There's sinkers you can buy. There's all kinds of different kinds of hooks. Um, there's setups for Carolina rigs, for Texas rigs, for rigging up rubber worms. There's different kinds of rubber worms. There's just so much depth to that game. I would love to see just a fraction of that come to here. And even if they could do it in a way where they had maybe like a casual mode and a more sim mode, like in Fishing Planet, for instance, your line. If you lose line, you actually lose that line off the reel. So eventually, you need to respool your reels just like real life. Eventually, line gets weak. Your rods will get weak. You have to get your rods repaired. Your reels, all of your equipment can fail on you. You need to kind of fix everything. Now, I'm not saying that they got to get into that kind of depth. Like, I understand that that's getting into a territory that you know it would push a lot of people away. But if they could give us just some of that, like just a taste of that, I feel like that would just make this game damn near perfect. I'm not gonna lie, the maps and the exploration and being able to just pick a body of water and fish is an absolute huge draw for me to this game. I absolutely love that part of this game. That's what makes this game so much fun. The things that I would change, other than what I've just previously talked about in the video, fighting a fish, I would like to see it a little more involved. As of right now, I feel like it's just, you know, spamming the L2 and then pumping once in a while. I would like to see rod movement incorporated more to where you actually have to move the rod to get the fish in. Again, I would love to be able to, at the very least, look around. Okay, I can understand it if they don't want to implement walking around while you have a line in the water. They've expressed concerns about that, which, again, I feel like Fishing Planet and Fishing Sim World even they do pretty well. The developers they stated concern like, well, what if someone walks into the water too deep? Well, if you walk into the water too deep, then you lose your fish, and I would say just respawn you back on shore. That's kind of the consequences for going too deep. Um, they said, so if you have a lot of shore behind you, if you keep walking back, can you pull the fish up on shore? And sure, why not? I don't, I mean, that would happen in real life. I don't see, what the advantage of that would be here if you got a really big fish. Um, they're going to pull. And if you're walking backwards and the fish is going forwards and the drag's coming out, you're not going to gain anything on it. So really, that would be only useful for fish that aren't bigger than your drag can handle. So I say problem solved there. The other thing I would like to see, I would like to see a net implemented in the game or something, because it's a little strange to me that they're so concerned about like ethical fishing, ethical hunting. EW's all into that, right? They don't want a trophy lodge because it's catch and release only. They don't want, depictions of the fish being killed. But yet, when you land a fish, you're literally just yanking it up into the boat. I mean, nobody would ever do that in fishing. Nobody would do that. And maybe if you're a little kid and didn't know any better, the trout fishermen are very critical on how you handle the fish in the water, because trout are a delicate species. When it comes to trout, if you have a net, the net has to be wet. If you're going to handle the fish, you have to wet your hands. They really try to handle the fish as little as possible. So, I mean, yanking the fish out of the water into the air, into your boat or onto the shore, that's very unethical. That's a very unethical way to land a fish. So I would love to see them employ maybe like a little netting mini game. I think that would be fun. They're actually implementing that into Fishing Planet. I think they already did on the PC side, and it's going to be coming to console fairly soon. So again, I'm not trying to compare this to Fishing Planet, but what I am trying to do is just say that I would love to see this game a little more, just a little more depth into it, just a little bit more depth. I mean, when I see lures, I can't select the color of the lures, which that bums me out, because color selection in lures is very important. Um, there's so many other lures and baits that you can have, and I understand that the game's young, that there's a lot that they can add, and I really do think they're going to. These devs, they seem to be really into the game and really into improving it, and they've improved so much already compared to the PC launch that it's really amazing. But these are just some of the things I can think of off the top of my head. I know there's probably more. If there's anything you guys would like to see in the game, just drop it down in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys think. But we're going to end this video now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and we'll see you next time, guys. Oh, and don't forget, join the Discord, and when you're in there, drop your Apex ID, because I would love to fish with you guys. We got a lot of people showing up in the Discord that they want to fish, they want to have a good time, and yeah, I hope to see you there, guys.
プレイステーション